Welcome back to the K-C podcast. My name is Casey Herring, and this is my co-host.
Kendra Brewer.
And today we have a special fucking guest.
I'm Jacob York.
Yes, I'm so excited to have our first guest from my fraternity. So, yeah, this is Jacob York. I call him York here. So, yeah, Kendra's met him. He's a dope motherfucker.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, Kendra, do you have any topics that you want to talk to him about? But he has an entire book full of stuff.
I say we just get started on his book.
Go ahead and start on his book. All right, York, you take it away with our first topic. Anything you want to?
Let me give you some background information.
Go for it.
So when I was 16, I was a junior in high school. I tripped for the first time on acid, and it just completely changed me, the way I think, the way I perceive things. And so it kind of just like my curiosity in psychedelics just after that day took off, and I started tripping a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I have tripped over 100 times in a 2-year span, which is that's not okay. I don't recommend it. It's not safe.
We don't condone drugs.
Yeah. But the way that it has affected me is just it's inexplainable almost. So I get a lot of random thoughts throughout my head, and I just started like a month ago. I just started writing them down, which is a little upsetting. I should have started it a little sooner. But I mean, some of the things that I've learned is like really about ego and who we are as people. I mean, 50% of people have midlife crises. And what that midlife crisis is you're a 40-year-old man.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up one day next to a wife, you have kids, you have this steady job. And some people wake up one day and they're like, who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have these things? I don't even enjoy my job, like tensions with the wife. So like, it's very hard, especially at our age, to know who you are, because I mean, there's so many like social factors, like especially in a fraternity, you got older guys, you get freshmen that come in, they're like, I want to be those older guys. That's who I strive to be. But then later in life, they find out like there's no really reason, or
we're
like,
all on an even playing field.
Exactly. Really. Nobody is better than anybody. We're all human beings.
Exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're poor, rich. Doesn't matter. We're all humans at the end of the day. And a lot of people can't see that. Their ego is telling them like, I'm better than you because I have these things. And what psychedelics have done for me is destroy that ego. And I've been able to see things from a lot of different perspectives. And I would recommend that everyone should try psychedelics at least one time in their life. Just once.
Okay. Just
to get that outside perspective. And like drugs sound scary, like they're scary.
Mm-hmm. They can be dangerous, but
yeah. But mushrooms are the safest drug you can take. Mushrooms are safer than smoking weed. Mushrooms are safer than drinking alcohol. Mushrooms are safer than drinking caffeine. And the fact that it's illegal and everybody's got this mindset of like, oh,
mushrooms, yeah,
they're going to destroy your brain, fry your brain. They're going to make you crazy. Like, it's not like that.
It's not like that.
And it's upsetting to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I know neither Kendra and I have ever even dabbled in any of that. So.
And will never.
Will never.
I can strongly say. Because I know, like, just researching for school and stuff, because I'm going into nursing, like, people that have bad trips, like, end up in the hospital.
Yeah, ego death.
That's just not risk reward-ish. Not in my eyes.
So when most people when most people freak out on a trip, it's mainly because the psychedelics have shown that person like almost as if you were looking in a mirror, and you can see all of these things about you and yourself and your personality. And some people that aren't ready to have a trip and change, like realize that they freak out. And then that stems from like, who am I? Like, I don't know who I am. I don't know why I do the things I do.
Is
And
it
then
almost
that's
like
when
a
people
like a
typically freak out.
it's like a third person point of view, kind of like an outside, like almost out of body experience?
Exactly like
Gotcha.
that. And that's what they call ego death, is having that outer body experience and realizing
Who you really
Okay.
are, what's going on.
maybe I need to change some things within myself. And that freaks people out, especially when you're so used to, like, your parents raised you a certain way. Each parent's like, they raise their kids a certain way to have certain morals, certain beliefs, do certain things. And when you get out of that, steady
That comfort
pace,
zone, yeah.
people just, it's a human reaction, we just freak out.
Yeah.
We don't know how to deal with our emotions. And this stuff blows my mind. And research on psychedelics has been illegal for years
Forever.
and years. So we just legalized the research on psychedelics. John Hopkins University is one of the main researchers behind psychedelics. And I'm very excited to see what they come up with, what they come out with.
Because you know damn well, if they can monetize anything with psychedelics, I mean, people will be more open to it.
Oh yeah.
Especially if it's legal. Like, it may take some time for the boomers to get the fuck out of here.
Well, even in Colorado, they have therapy now that deals with mushrooms.
Really?
Yeah. So they will actually prescribe you capsules with like a 0.25 grams of mushrooms, and you microdose, because the psilocybin, the chemicals, the way it reacts in your brain is just like, it really helps people with PTSD, depression, addiction is a big one.
Really?
Yes. Psychedelics, they create new neural pathways in your brain. And like, let's say, for instance, a cigarette smoker smoking 40 years, she has this trip, that outer body experience, and shows like, why am I doing this to my body? Why am I inhaling these carcinogens that are just destroying me? And they've actually been able to come out of that trip and never smoke another cigarette again. And it's amazing.
Do they have the same like cold turkey effects, or is it just like, no, I'm done, and the body's just like,
it's
cool?
just, no, I'm done, because of the way they saw themselves at that point in time in that situation.
Gotcha.
And that feeling doesn't leave them, the way it impacts them.
Gotcha. That's crazy.
I know.
Any questions so far, Kendra?
No,
No.
I don't know anything of this topic that much other than
I watched a couple YouTube videos about.
Try to prepare for me.
Yeah, basically. But and with hallucinogens, especially, is there any addictive quality to them at all?
Nope.
Not even
None
physical
at all.
dependency.
Nope.
I don't think so. No.
So it's crazy how safe they are, but how much they impact humans.
How humans think.
And it's not just humans, like deer and rabbits, they eat mushrooms too. So like, they have similar experience. And that's why when most people trip, they really feel at one with like nature and like animals and things like that. I mean, nature has a conscience. So like, you really can feel energies between.
Yeah, you were talking to me about that. Like, you said that like, if you pick a flower, it like screams.
It screams. If you like cut a flower, it will scream. But since the frequency of the scream is so low, it's not detectable by human ears.
That blew my mind.
It's crazy.
And everything operates on its own like wavelength. And you said, and humans are the only ones that are out of touch.
Out of tune.
Yeah.
They're out of tune with our frequencies. So not almost every single thing is vibrating right now. This table, this microphone, Kendra, we're all vibrating. I mean, the universe is always moving. It's always
Yeah.
rotating.
It little tiny atoms,
Yeah,
everything. It's all
exactly.
moving unless it's at
Exactly.
absolute
So,
zero Kelvin.
We all ping a frequency, and you can change your frequency through meditation and just certain like practices like that. And what have you ever seen a video of what frequency can do to water? I'll let you take that as a no.
I know kind of basics, but
Basically
no,
just
I've never
yeah.
seen the video.
This guy hooks up a hose to a frequency like vibration type of thing,
Mhm.
and he turns it to different frequencies while the hose is running. And no like the normal frequency, the water just falls down, you know. But when he tunes it to different frequencies, he can make the water zigzag in midair. He can make it spiral down to the ground, like just all these crazy patterns. And humans, water is
We're made up.
70-80% of our bodies. So I just kind of like been thinking about this past few weeks, like how much can those frequencies really affect us if that's what it can do to water?
Just straight up water,
Yeah.
right?
So, and like everything right now is giving off a frequency. This laptop, mostly electronics, your phone, your TV, radio towers, cell towers, they all ping a frequency. And it's set to 440 Hz frequency. It was set by the Rockefellers in
Okay.
like 1930, something, long time ago. And that frequency actually deactivates a lot of activity in the right hemisphere of the brain, which is our creativeness. And
So is that why you can kind of see a slight decline in creativeness when cell phones, computers, everything,
Yeah.
every single part of our lives?
Yeah, and most of society is just in this general flow of things, like, oh, everybody else is doing this, so just follow the crowd. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really a good thing to have this right side.
And not only that, but like how advertisers can monetize anything nowadays, and they can get it to you personally.
Oh yeah,
Every
like,
single type of ad.
when you're talking, I'm sure after this podcast, I'll get a bunch of ads in my phone about
TVs and cell phones.
Yeah, it's weird how it listens to us. I don't like it. Alexas and Google Homes, those things scare the shit out of me. Like,
we've got one in the house.
I fully believe we have FBI agents in our phone.
I really want to get a text from my FBI guy.
we're all
He's definitely seen my boobs.
He's
And that
definitely
makes
seen
me
my
concerned.
cock. He's definitely-
I don't even want to know what he's seeing for me.
Maybe after this, he'll try him and be like, he might hit you up.
Did you know the Pentagon has like 200 like secret like spies almost in the country, like that work, they're secret workers for the Pentagon?
Like 200 people or 200 like
200
different
people.
corporate. Okay.
And
I did not know that.
So like, dude, it's weird. Like you're walking down a busy street, like a city, like you really don't know who these people are. Like, it is crazy the amount of just stories, life, like you see a random person walking down the road, you don't
You don't
think
know
much
anything.
of it. You judge them first. It's human instinct. Like, oh, they look pretty, they look nice, you know, but like it never really goes deeper than that.
Yeah,
unless
unless you're
we're
like,
on a podcast or something.
right. Then we're gonna get deep. Like, seeing a girl walk
Yeah.
by, she's got a dress on and makeup. You're like, oh, she might be going to a function or something like that. But little do you know, she's on her way to murder her dad. You never know.
True. Like, it's strange.
1 second, we can't hear you. Are you muted? You did. That's been muted.
Yeah.
What's up?
I was eating my grape. No, I was gonna say, like, you said murder her father, and I was like just thinking about like the average person walks by like 4 murderers or something in their lifetime.
Yeah. Or like
That's
1 in every
whack.
10 people on the street are like murderers or something like
Or
that.
crazy
I've heard
people.
that, yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I wonder. I'm a psychology major, So I've been learning a lot about the way we do things, why we do things. And one of my classes, we were actually getting into the neuroscience of things. And there's a little cell, whatever, deep inside your brain. It starts with an A, and it's responsible for anger. And there was a researcher a long time ago who was like poking the brain to see what parts of the brain,
Mhm,
what
yeah.
motor functions, make your arm spaz.
Yeah.
And when he hits this lady's whatever A something, she stops and she looks at him and she says, "If you hit that again, I'm gonna hurt you."
Oh,
Yeah. So from that, they think that little cell is responsible for the anger in humans.
Mhm.
And what they found was that psychopaths and serial killers and things like that actually have a bigger cell in their brain, which causes them
to act out,
to have
angry.
a little more aggression than most people. But the thing with that, if you looked at the way the lady responded in that test, she didn't get up and hurt him. She said, "If you do that again, I might have to hurt you." Which is an example of we are not our thoughts. You know, we have thoughts, we have these feelings, and we can act on them,
Mhm.
but we can also like just be aware of like, I'm feeling this way and I want to respond this way.
Mhm.
But if you take a step back, relax, breathe, you're like,
Mhm.
you know, maybe that's not the best decision.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we're
a
all
lot of people don't know how to do that. You know, a lot of people are just, it's in my mind, it's going out
I mean, you
there.
have
You
to
know?
take a step back,
Yeah.
breathe, and be like, "What am I thinking right now?
Yeah.
Why am I feeling this way?"
Especially in angry situations. Like I know for me and my girlfriend, if we fight or if you guys fight, it's like she'll get angry. I mean, she has a hard time controlling like that instant like
Mhm.
rage. But once you're able to just relax and realize like, hey, it's us versus the problem, like then that's when you start to see more connections and a deeper sense of like love,
Mhm.
is because you guys can tackle these issues together. And it's amazing.
Yeah, I don't even know if Ken and I have ever even been in an argument. I mean,
No,
No.
we tried thinking of this, and like we didn't
just
come
don't
up with
have-
anything.
like I don't know what we would disagree on. I mean, if something happens, obviously, and I do something and you get upset with it, I mean, I think I'm.
I like how you
At least in
assumed that
gym.
you would do something first.
It's always us.
It's always the guys.
Yeah.
Or if you do something and then I get mad, then you get mad because I'm mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually, so you said you said that you were a psychology major, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, should I talk about this if you know where I'm kind of going with this? Okay.
Go ahead.
Well,
Go for it.
anyways, right now there's this situation in the
Oh,
they will
yeah.
know if they watch this who I'm talking about. That sorry, not football. That there's a person who dated someone for a while and then they broke up after a long time, immediately went into a new relationship, which everyone knew was going to end.
Mhm.
Anyways, went through that one, immediately goes back to the ex,
Mm-hmm.
leads the ex on after the ex has gotten over him. Ex is away. As the ex is gone, a new one comes in because I think he's available. And so, like, as a mediator, because I've been trying to go through the process of deciding what the best thing to do is, I don't know whose side to stand with because it's my best
Yeah.
friend on both sides.
Yeah. So
Okay.
did you get that situation there? Because this person
I feel like
dated this person and then broke up with him, and now she's trying to go back with him for a little bit, and then a new guy comes in because this one's away,
yeah.
and now she's just all over that guy.
The hard thing there is that there are so many memories. There are a lot of, especially in a 4-year span, like that's really hard to just forget about it. You know what I mean? Like, especially if they've been through situations together and like really made that emotional connection. At the same time, I'm sure those people are our age. And like I said before, you don't really know what you want at this age. And it's hard to be able to find and pick a partner that's like, I want you for the next 80 years of my life. Like, that's a really hard, it's really hard to grasp the concept of how long your life really is. Like, we're 20 years old. Most people live to 80. We've only been through a quarter of life, and it seemed like it was fucking forever. You know what I mean? So I feel like going back to an ex is that sense of feeling safe and comfortable in that flow we were talking about earlier. And actually, when you have a partner, your pain receptors in the brain are reduced by 5%. So like that feeling of I need someone here with me, like that's where that comes from. Like I don't want to feel as much pain. And
then with like the new guy, is
with
that
the
like,
new guy,
is it like new and exciting?
Yes, I mean it is always exciting to meet new people, especially when they connect with us and we relate with them. It's like, wow, you're amazing. Like, we share these same ideas. But the issue in that situation is leftover feelings from past relationships. I mean, if she can't get over him, like, how does she know that she really has these real feelings for the new guy?
And I'm not even really sure if she knows what she's doing.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, nobody.
She
really
doesn't
knows
realize what she's doing to either of these guys and to
the new
other people.
I mean, I'm sure she doesn't mean any harm, you know, but good intentions.
Definitely
but
not.
She is definitely the sweetest person you've ever met.
But maybe she doesn't realize how big of an effect she's playing in these other people's lives with the way their emotions are being tugged on. And I mean, I don't know the ex. I don't know these people at all, so I can't like give you like you should go do this. You know what I mean? But one day you're gonna figure it out. One day,
like, just give it time. It'll work.
Your parents figured it out. Even in their 30s, they struggled with jobs and
money and
home life and just stuff like that. Like, but eventually you figure it out. So yes, you have to make choices. You have to deal with things in present time. But when I make decisions and stuff like that, when I'm put in a situation, I think when I'm 40 years old, when I'm a middle-aged man, am I going to care what happens right now? And if I don't, I'm like, whatever happens, happens. I don't care. But if it does, that's when I make a decision based on what I feel is best for my 40-year-old self. That way I don't wake up like 50, 75% of people and have that midlife crisis.
And go out and buy a Corvette.
No, that won't be me. No. I'll be in my prime when I'm
buying
40.
He'll be peaking when he's 80.
Yeah. Still tripping. But
so, like, you said you recommended people do hallucinogens or psychedelics, sorry. For people that don't want to, like Kendra, you have any recommendations for that? Is like meditation?
Oh, meditations. Everybody should meditate, whether you think you need it or not. Meditation, it's been a very common practice since
forever. You've seen it in
1000s, like BC, like way back then. They've practiced meditation. And through meditation, you can achieve different levels of conscience. Conscience is it's like I am this thing on this place. I have fingers. I'm human, and I'm in this environment. Right here. And since I can be aware of that, I have conscience. A lot of animals don't have conscience. I think cats do, deer, just a few. But what is interesting, I've been trying to theorize stuff for since I started tripping.
Mm-hmm.
And when you achieve different levels of conscience, like it really plays a role with your frequency and your reality.
Mhm.
Your reality is based off of your mind. Your mind can be changed, which would technically mean you can change your reality. And through meditation and being at one with yourself, you can actually start to manifest. And manifesting is you can manifest a career, a relationship, pretty much almost
Just about
anything.
anything.
It's called the law of attraction.
Okay.
And that's when we put ourselves on a frequency, other things on those frequencies are going to come to us.
Okay.
So, I mean, even if your life is great, oh, I'm happy, I've got a relationship, I got a job, like even practicing that meditation to just understand the benefits of feeling at one with yourself. The awareness just it's just insane. It's just
That's interesting.
the
Yeah.
open-mindedness that you can get from it is very
Helpful.
yes.
That's nice.
So, and like I was saying earlier, that we're the only species on Earth that is out of touch with the frequency. It almost led me to believe that maybe we are supposed to be in a different dimension
Okay.
on a higher level of conscience. So, like, have you ever seen Interstellar?
No, but I know like kind of the concept.
Yeah. So, the main character, what's his name?
Like Mark or something.
Famous actor.
Yeah.
He's so famous. I'm sorry. I don't know his name.
The main character.
He's falling through space.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna die. Like he's falling down to this planet, and then he hits this thing, and it's like he's in a room of memories of all of his memories with him and his daughter. Like, and what it was that thing that he was seeing, this room that he was in, was created by fifth dimensional beings. And we already know that like you can achieve different consciousness. There are different dimensions.
Mhm.
Doctors, scientists say we're in the fourth dimension, something like that.
Okay.
And what I think the reason we are out of tune with our frequencies is because we're not supposed to be here. We are supposed to be higher dimensional beings.
Okay.
As humans.
Gotcha.
And that's been something that's been toying with my mind.
Yeah, because just that entire movie is just strange. Like it was really hard to wrap your mind around the first time, and you had to watch it the second time. You're like, okay, I understand this a little bit better. And yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, the concept is really interesting, and I don't know why. Like, I mean, I guess I do know why people have different opinions. They like different things, but I feel like this type of research would just be like this is like what everybody should be focused on. Like, it's the very like meaning of life. Like, where did we start? Some people it's God started us. Some people it's nobody did it. You know what I mean?
Just a big,
but we don't have that answer. And I feel like research through psychedelics, meditation, things like that can help us find that answer.
But swinging it all back around, people with big old egos and don't give a shit are busy benefiting on Amazon packages.
Exactly. I feel like the higher ego you have, the more material items mean to you. Yeah. So like, I'm not gonna say anybody's name, but to somebody with a high ego, like all they ever talk about is
how much stuff they have.
Yeah, things like that, and it's like, who cares? You know,
nobody knows really.
Like, why?
You do. You care about telling other people. That's about all that.
What's the point of you having all those things? Like, when you're on your deathbed, are you gonna be sitting there thinking, "Wow, oh, look at all those things I had. I did such." No, you're gonna be sitting there like, "This is my last chance to talk to my family, the relationships that I've created throughout this lifetime."
Yeah.
So that's really the big purpose in people's lives. is family and relationships. That's what keeps people going. That's why people have kids.
That's why people do things the way they do.
Exactly.
And they could be like, I'm doing this all for myself, but really, I think that they're doing it to show other people that they can do things if they,
And the way we let other people influence us
is a bunch of bullshit.
Oh my, it's bad. It's so bad. Like even Instagram, social media. I've noticed when I scroll through social media and I see posts, the posts are telling me what to think and how to feel. And like news and media, when they put out their stories, they're telling you the story and then they're telling you how to think and feel about the story. They're not giving you the option of, oh,
this is what happened.
Exactly. Like let's say a stripper, for example. Like you go to the strip club, you see a girl strip, and you're like, some people are like, whore, easy money, like you're just lazy, you didn't want a real job. And then in her point of view, she could be like, I already work a 9 to 5, but I have 2 children to feed at home, and my 9 to 5 won't cover that. This is what I have to do to live. So it's just having that open mind to not judge people so fast it's really gonna better you for yourself. And when you put yourself in a mindset like this and it gets stuck to where it's the only mindset you have, you really start to see the benefits, and like you really actually start to feel it like in your body, like wow. And energy or like auras, you can really sense that in people. I've tripped during a party here, and I'm not kidding. I could literally see the colors coming off of people of their energy auras. And
it's like different colors mean like different things.
Yeah. So
you could see a guy that's like dancing. He's like green or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's having a great time. There's another guy dancing, looking the exact same, red, because he's thinking about his mom.
Yeah, something. Like and it can really change your life when you get the mindset of, I'm not as important as my ego tells me I am. And I struggle with that a lot, especially because I first found this out when I was 16. That's pretty young age my trip kind of just showed me, like, when you think about the universe as a whole, it's infinite and never stops growing. There are multiple universes within multiple galaxies within, and our importance to the cosmos is like 1 grain of sand on Earth. 1 grain of sand is Earth compared to the rest of the universe. 1 itty bitty little dust in the wind. That's all we are. And having to, I mean, I think I went into like a 7 to 9 month depression of just like, if nothing matters, why am I, what is the purpose of me being here? Why would I even want to do any of this? And it wasn't until about a year ago when I finally got into the mindset of, if nothing matters, then I can do whatever I want to.
Do whatever you want.
I can make this reality whatever I want it to be. And hopefully with good intentions, you know, you can better your life and the lives of people around you.
Yeah. And you were talking about like earlier, media being just telling you to think a certain way.
Yeah.
They've gotten so good at it. You read the title and they've already fucking got you by the balls.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
And it's just crazy seeing the same story on CNN and on Fox, and how like, what the hell?
It's
like,
the same story, but they're telling you
2 different ways to feel and think. It's like, it divides us. It divides us as people. It causes a lot of issues.
That's why it's so back and forth nowadays.
I don't do politics. I hate politics.
No.
I hate the whole idea behind politics. It doesn't like, oh my, the way it works is you get Jeff Bezos. You get a man that's really powerful, has a lot of money. And he's like, I can't make like there's this regulation rule that's stopping me from doing what I want. So he finds a member in Congress. He's like, here's $3 billion in a 3-week vacation to the Bahamas. When you get back, I need a favor. And that's how our political system works.
It's corrupt. It's run by people with money.
Yeah. And
It's run by people with egos.
yeah.
Huge
Very
egos, like
high.
big egos.
Brain
Yes.
power right there.
Yes. And what's even scarier though is, yes, they make laws and stuff, but with those laws come rules and regulations. And those rules and regulations come from companies like the IRS, the CIA, the FBI, and their regulations are kind of what keeps us down,
They keep us,
working,
yeah,
because we should all
Silence.
work hard to save money and then to return. Bullshit. Anybody in the upper class, they wouldn't tell you to work hard, work long hours, save your money.
No.
They would not. There are systems and ways to cheat the tax system and benefit to you. And they don't teach the middle or poor class that.
because they want to keep it for themselves.
Exactly. And
Because
I mean, especially if everybody was upper class, inflation, crazy. Like,
they raise the prices of everything, and then.
but it's
next thing
just
you know-
messed up that they would keep people down there like that and just keep like kicking them under the rug just because they weren't taught these lifestyle ways, like cheat systems, pretty much, that everybody else knows how to
Yeah.
get around. And that's why when you're born in a middle class, you're born in a poor class, you're born in upper class, you really don't move away from that
Where you
class. You be almost
You
always middle
stay
class
stagnant.
people stay as middle class, poor people stay poor, and the rich stay rich. And that's why.
Yeah, because they can pass that down through generation to generation. The middle class is always just working, and people with poverty line are just
Yeah.
struggling.
What's
and
going to be really interesting is most of the like world order, the people who kind of like run everything, they are only that wealthy and powerful because their families are the ones that discovered oil, coal, things like that. But times are changing.
Mhm.
You know, we have new ways to acquire electricity, like through the sun, solar panels, and things like that.
Wind farms. and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So once those resources are no longer used, those people like the Rockefellers are not going to have a big influence, which is why they don't want that to happen. They don't want new
That's why we're not. That's why.
electricity and things like
Because
that.
like clean energy, like solar power, is good and efficient,
Exactly.
and it's good for the planet. And those people just don't want it to happen. That's why they're suppressing everything that they can.
Nikola Tesla, who actually discovered the light bulb, even though Thomas Edison got credit for it. Nikola Tesla, back in the 1800s, had already found a way for free energy to the whole world
Really.
through Earth's energy. He used gravity and some electrical currents and was able to create free energy. We don't use that. We pay for energy.
Yeah.
Because those people that are in power pretty much shut him down, and we're like, no,
we need to make
because
our
that
money
would take
somehow.
our power away from us. And it's just a lot of people that rule the world, they just don't have good intentions for the people. They have good intentions for themselves and their family, but they don't really think
in
about
their eyes, they're
us,
like, I'm
you know
doing
what I
so good right now. I'm
Yeah.
doing great. Everybody should be proud of me. That's not really how it should be. Because Any questions, comments, concerns?
No, Professor.
mean?
And that was one thing on his book. He has like several pages.
I only got like 2 pages. Not a whole lot.
No, it's really weird because nursing and stuff right now, we're at the very, very basics, which is learning how to essentially just drop your ego because you have to be able to assist and take care of everyone from every
Anyone, yeah.
culture. We have
Anybody
to
and
learn
everybody.
all the cultures.
Yeah.
And it's like, it is a lot to take in because you never consider everyone else's beliefs, values.
Yeah,
Like,
and and
how
like a nurse's bias towards a certain person, or say you had to,
Ethnicity or something like
yeah,
that.
or
Mhm.
even more personal than that, say you had to operate on your mom or an
which
ex-boyfriend.
situations like that, if you are connected to a point that it could hinder you professionally, you can step down.
Yeah.
But the one thing I thought was fascinating was like, let's say someone's in a car accident and they lose a ton of blood, you would normally supply blood. But if they're a Jehovah Witness, you can't. So you literally have to let them die.
Yeah.
Like concepts like that, like as a human
Confusing.
being, like you
Yeah.
have to respect it, but you're just like, I
Weird.
could save them.
Yeah, because if you do save them and they're Jehovah's Witness and they come out, they're gonna be like, I'm gonna sue you because that was supposed to be my time or something like that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Religion is weird.
It is weird.
Like let's say I'm a Christian and I believe in God. Do I just denounce all other religions? Like you're wrong, I'm right?
I am a Christian. I do not.
Okay.
I say you have your own. I have mine.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna judge you for it.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say yours is wrong and mine is right.
Yeah.
Because I'm open to that.
Yeah.
And so I'm not really worried about other people being like, oh, Catholicism is wrong. I'm gonna be like, that's what you think. I'm up to myself.
Yeah.
Man.
And
Everybody's
also
got
Christianity does say to be accepting of others' beliefs.
Yeah.
But on top of that, my mom has actually, but this is also coming from her perspective, everyone can read a book differently.
Mhm.
She's read multiple different religious books. And she says, yeah, there's like a ton of big differences, but essentially the main idea is all the same within
Yeah.
them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Everything's
why,
built upon the same concept.
yeah. And that concept, either being God, whatever it, like, huh?
I think turtle that floats in the sky.
Something like
Mhm.
it literally could be anything
Mhm.
that has put us here.
And yet people still start wars over it.
Yeah, and we like, why don't we know that? Like for
Exactly.
100% fact, like this thing put us here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's
all skepticism.
But like
and-
we have these documents, this history from 1800s, from these books and stories that people have written. It is so confusing.
It is confusing.
And it's hard to know what to believe when you have all of these factors, social media, friend groups that are telling you like,
No,
this is normal. This is the way to do things.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, I was raised Christian, so
Exactly.
that's what I believe in.
I was also raised Christian. Church every Sunday,
Mhm.
Sunday school. But my parents kind of shoved it like down my throat. Like, you're gonna believe in God. And when you do that to a kid, like either they're gonna comply and listen to you 100%, or they're not gonna listen to you at all and just go the other way. And that's kind of what I did, was go the other way. And I mean, I respect them. I respect Christianity. I respect like their morals, but they are different. They seem like very, very, very simplistic people that have a hard time seeing the big picture. And it was hard for me growing up to be able to conversate and connect with them when like their responses were almost the same to every question, and it always was something with God. And I'm not saying I don't believe in God. Like I do think there's some type of energy, frequency, whatever it is out there that has put us here. Whether,
right?
I don't know. But I did not want that. Like it almost reminded me of cows, just
being herded.
Grazing, being herded, not a care in the world. And I did not want that for myself.
I really like that you mentioned that, because like I'm in a similar situation where like I respect it and I like want to do it because it's what is so normal here.
Norm.
At the same time, I'm like, you can't just say that every time because we are put here for something. So you have to take account for yourself and do something yourself because it's not just gonna you can't just rely on it.
You
is
can't
what
be
I
like,
guess
I'm
I
gonna
should
sit
say.
here and wait for God's purpose.
And
You actually
yeah,
have to go out
that's
and
what I
do
was
that.
about to talk about is God's plan, fate, almost.
Yeah, fate.
Do you think that things happen to you for a reason, like because it was your fate, or do you think that things happen to you because you were put in a situation and you made a certain choice, and from that choice stemmed different pathways in your life and put you
Where you
that
are.
choice put you in a new situation to make another choice?
Yeah, it's
So
kind of like either fate or is it all up to consequences for your own actions, right?
exactly. And
I think I literally
I
have like a perfect example for that. Like,
Sure.
I want you to help me decide what it was. So, my grandfather passed away this August,
sorry
like
for your
midway
loss.
through. Thank you. And so I had a game this past weekend, and it was the first game that I was going to see my grandmother and him not being there.
Yeah.
And so, like, on my mind all day, very hard game. And then I came down to surprise Casey. And I normally go through Indy, and I looked at the phone and I was about to get to the point where I can't turn back. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go through Crawfordsville. Like, it's a different route. Just take it because I saw construction. And I'm driving, get through, past my grandparents' house, think nothing of it. Keep driving another 20 minutes, and all of a sudden the realization hits. I know where I am, and it's the grave site.
Wow.
Because you took
So
a
that
detour.
was, so that was one of the things was I unconsciously thinking about him all day, and when I saw the
Yeah.
Crawfordsville route, it was because I thought
Your
that had been in my
unconscious
head all
mind
day,
took you there.
or was it the fate? Like,
Yeah, it's very.
It's weird.
I don't know.
yeah.
I like to think about it all the time, but I don't know the answer. I wish I did. I heard a story, and it was this guy had a lucid dream and saw this girl's face and heard her voice. She said her name, and he kind of forgets about it. A week or two later, he's getting on to a highway, and he gets a random phone call. So he pulls over, checks his phone, he answers it, and nobody's talking. He's like, hello, hello, is anybody there? Nobody's answering. And the car behind him is honking at him like, let's go, dude. You know, I got shit to do today. Like, why you stopped here in the middle of the ramp? And the guy behind him ends up going around the guy on the phone and gets onto the highway and dies in a car accident. He got hit by a semi. Now, the guy on the phone call ended the call and called back to see who it was. It rang the voicemail, and when the voicemail picked up, it's like, hi, I'm Michelle. Like the same name, same lady he saw in his lucid dream.
Did he know anyone named Michelle?
No,
Like,
he did not know this lady.
He didn't know the number. It was an unknown number that he got, and so when he called it back, it said the name that was in his dream.
And
I wonder if he had a past
called-
relative named Michelle.
he called again and ended up talking to the lady, and she never called him. She said, I never called you. I don't know how you got this number.
No, that's
So how do you explain things like that? They are just like, and I feel like they're kind of common. Like,
you hear
crazy
stories
things
like
like
stories
that.
like that every
a
once in a while,
lot.
don't you?
And you always get people that are like, oh, you're just crazy, dude.
Or it's fake.
Yeah, but like those are the kind of people that have those closed mindsets of like, I just want it to be normal. Don't make this not normal for me.
People will be like, oh, it was just a butt dial, and it just so happened to be you. I don't know about that, man.
Yeah,
I don't butt dial people.
No.
every day. I don't butt dial people.
Especially a random person.
Right. Yeah, I'm not typing numbers into my butt cheeks.
Speaking of fate, how we ever met, Casey and I.
Yeah. Did you ever see the first episode of this?
I did watch the first episode.
So you heard that, like,
Yeah.
Well, we went to school with each other. We knew who each other were.
Yeah.
We knew the names, but like, sorry for everybody.
What
that's
about with
listening to
Chesterton?
where we used to live. And then I was just going to the church next to my house to go play basketball. I had just left my driveway. And then Kendra decided to take that road by my house just because that day, because she was headed to her dad's house. And then she drives past me, honks the horn because she recognizes me. I'm like, oh, hey. And then one of us checks each other. I don't remember what. And then we ended up just hanging out, and then me sneaking out of my house every other night for what seemed like ever. So yeah, that's really how we started hanging out, and now we're here dating on a podcast.
Nice.
Fate
or choice.
the choice is right.
I don't know.
Did I stalk your location? Did
But yeah. And actually right before, because I would definitely would have been too scared to sneak out with a girl for the first time.
Yeah.
If I like first time ever sneaking out, I would have been like, I'm not sneaking out with a girl. But like a week before, my buddy Mitchell and I actually snuck out of my house to go to just a graduation party that was down the street, but it was like a pool party, whatever. And I had a curfew. So we snuck out of my house for the first time. And so even that plays into it for me, even being able to have the confidence to go hang out with her.
I know that goes deep.
Mm-hmm.
That stems back to like
Choices I made back my
the
seventh grade year.
choices your parents
Right.
made.
For me to go
The
play
choices
rifle.
your parents made.
Mhm.
Like is that goes pretty fucking deep.
Mm-hmm. You can dig and dig and dig and just keep
Oh.
finding stuff.
Until the start of time, whenever, if you could even have
Mhm.
enough data to get that far back. But that's weird too, like Christianity, Adam and Eve, and they make a baby, right?
Mhm.
So like technically, all life has stemmed down. We're all related to Adam and Eve.
So yeah, we're all brothers, sisters, cousins.
Yeah, that's what I'm
We
saying.
don't
We're all
be
like
like-
cousins, you know what I mean?
Yeah, York's my 7,386th cousin.
Nice.
It's weird. It's just weird. I like
Speaking of weird, I
dogs.
don't know why I'm just randomly thinking of this. Do you believe in ghosts?
In ghosts,
Ghosts, phantoms,
yeah, I was
spirits.
spirits and like I don't like the white sheep ghost. Ooh. No, I don't think. I don't think those are real, but I really do think spirits. They're literally all around us,
Mm-hmm.
but they're in different dimensions. And if you've ever seen the light spectrum that we can see as humans, it is out of the entire light spectrum, we can see like 0.0035%
Of all light waves.
of all light waves. So the amount of things going on around us that we can't detect with human eyes is astonishing. And that's why I think like cats and dogs, they have different light spectrums. If you ever catch your animal just staring like at the wall or something, or like down a hallway, like
They could be seen.
they could be seeing spirits or like different dimensional beings
Mm-hmm.
that we can't see. Or like dogs. If you've seen The Conjuring,
Yes,
the
we
dog
actually
goes
watched it.
outside, he's barking like crazy
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he knows this energy spirit is here.
Here, he wouldn't even go inside of the house,
Exactly.
and then the dog
Ended up dying.
did
Yeah.
R.I.P.
die.
dog.
Yeah, but it's very interesting the amount that we can't hear or see, and everything that we feel is real. Everything that we tell ourselves, this is real. We tell ourselves that because of our senses, our
Mhm.
5 senses. I can smell you. I can taste you. I can touch you.
Mhm.
I know you're real.
Does it
But
mean
if something's not there, does that mean
it's not real?
it's not real?
That's up to, yeah. We can't. We can say that air is not real because we can't fucking see that
Exactly.
shit.
Or love.
We can't see.
We
see love.
We can't detect.
Or a
we
tree
can't
that falls in the wood
harness
that
love.
makes noise.
Exactly.
How would we ever know? Because if we can't detect it, then
Did it really happen?
did it really happen? Exactly.
I don't know.
My
It's very
dog does
interesting.
that barking crat every
Yeah.
year around November when her owner died. She just barks.
She goes
It
nuts.
could be the energy,
Your
the
neighbor,
spirit.
its old neighbor,
Yeah.
definitely comes with visits.
It's interesting because what's the law? Newton's law, not gravity. It's like matter cannot be created or
Nor destroyed.
destroyed.
Nor
Mhm.
destroyed.
So where does that energy, that matter inside of you go when you die?
Your
And
consciousness,
isn't
you
that
think?
where
Where does that
the
go?
concept of like reincarnation come into play?
Yes, yeah. It's
Yeah.
pretty much a circle. It's a cycle, and like you were saying earlier, all of the religions are kind of connected with this one concept. And if you take a look, even with atheists,
Mhm.
atheists think you're born and then you die. Well, that's still a cycle. You're
Mhm.
born, dead, born, dead, born, dead. That's a circle. Reincarnation. I live this life. I come back as a lion, as a bird. It's a circle.
Mhm.
Like, and
we go to heaven. And so, yeah.
it's. What was your question again, Kendra? I forgot why I was talking about that.
Just the concept of reincarnation, just like that circle, right?
Yeah, just yeah, like how that matters neither created nor
The
destroyed.
matter, yeah. So I feel like we're all just kind of stuck in this circle of life. And have you seen Rick and Morty?
I've seen like one episode.
One
I need to
episode.
watch more.
Okay, never mind. That's not gonna make any sense. It's just how do you break the circle? You know,
Mhm.
can you break the circle?
Exactly. Can you?
Like
Because
the
like,
Matrix almost. Can you break out of the Matrix?
right?
Can
you? And then like, say you do break the circle, then what happens? What do you think would happen?
Something along the lines of Interstellar
Right?
is the only like close explanation I could give you right now because we don't really have research data or anything like that.
That's something that would be.
I don't
Right.
think we could process it.
It's
I just don't think we could. I don't think we
Even-
physically could take it either.
We are just a big old pile of meat up here.
Yeah.
it is hard. It's weird how hard it is to express yourself sometimes too, because our bodies just can't.
We can't say how we feel
Yeah,
to a
those
T. We
exact
can't show
words.
it.
So it's weird being human. The mind is interesting. We have not located consciousness. We don't know where our consciousness comes from. The guess is inside the brain. My guess is the pineal gland. You have a right hemisphere of your brain and the left hemisphere. They both work independently. And then the pineal gland is right dead center. It is right in the middle. And the nickname for it is your third eye. And the third eye, that is talked about a lot with psychedelics and things like that. And your pineal gland is required for dopamine and melatonin.
Serotonin.
Yeah. And those are like what makes us who we are. It makes us happy, it makes us sad, it makes us tired. Like your pineal gland it's called like the starts with a C, sadactic cycle or whatever that's called, where it's like it tells you when to wake up, when you need to go to
Circadian rhythm.
Yeah. So that's what that is. And I feel like consciousness could be found there.
You think so?
I do. But it's scary because your pineal gland can calcify and it can start calcifying from the age of 2 years old. And when the pineal gland completely calcifies, it's no longer in use, which is why I feel like those people with high egos that don't really have a conscience, their pineal gland is so calcified that they can't even begin to expand their mind in those kinds of ways.
You said like almost like a robot.
Yeah.
They're just
programmed.
They are who they are.
Yeah.
They are programmed how they are right now, and they go on.
Yep. And fluoride is one of the main causes of your pineal gland to calcify. And
you can't brush your teeth anymore.
Fluoride is in toothpaste, deodorant, water.
Anything, yeah.
It's in all this stuff. And it's like, why would our government allow us to put these chemicals into our body when that's what it's doing. And once your pineal gland calcifies, heart valves can calcify. You can actually get the lymphomas or the
Lymph nodes just like
in your
swell.
in your breasts that can cause breast cancer. And I feel like I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. I obviously need to do medical research to make this an official statement, but I feel like that's why heart problems, breast problems are so common, especially in America. It's because all of our pineal glands are so calcified that it's started to calcify in other areas of our bodies.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. It's a completely different take on it than like eating hamburgers and bacon. every
Yeah,
day.
I mean that. Obviously,
it
is
obviously-
gonna
it
help
obviously
your
affects it.
arteries.
That's probably not better either.
Yeah.
But
We could have
But-
vegans out here walking around like robots and NPCs. So
It's very interesting.
and I'm wondering if like the thoughts and actions that you make can actually speed up the calcification. Because like say you are vegan, but you're like jacked, that can boost your ego way up because you're like, I'm eating good food all the time.
I'm bigger
and
than
I'm
you.
bigger than you.
I've got a better lifestyle than you
Mhm.
have.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder why Jeff Bezos and all of them haven't died yet. Probably because they can pay people to remove it.
well, if you think about the concepts of having money in the medical industry, take who is the famous athlete that has AIDS? Like
Magic Johnson.
full blown,
They cured it.
yeah, full blown AIDS.
They cured it.
Exactly. Anyone can be cured for the most part. Not saying that's 100% reliable because everyone's body responds differently.
Mhm.
But like it is a huge money thing.
Oh, we have cures for cancer, cures for HIV, cures for AIDS. It's just that pharmaceutical companies, big pharma, they make an ungodly amount of money from
People coming in COVID sick.
and
And
medical bills and things like that. And
that's crazy because literally an ambulance ride can be thousands of dollars.
yeah.
Even from here, it's like a 2-minute drive.
Yep.
Well, I think the cure thing is just knowing about bodies and living on a farm and experience myself.
Yeah.
Is that the way each body responds is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
you can because cancer can be different for everybody because
Have you
of how you're built and all
Exactly.
that.
have you guys ever heard of Dr. Sebi?
Uh-uh.
Mm-mm.
He was a doctor from the Middle East, and he was able to cure cancer, heart problems, respiratory issues through an alkaline diet. So no GMOs, no sugars, like this crazy diet.
Mhm.
He brought it to the US, started curing people. He was arrested in New York for practicing these findings on people. And they sent him to federal court. It was like, we need like 100 like procedures that you've done on this
Mhm.
for proof to show that it actually works. And he actually got that amount. And all of these people came to testify for him, like, this man saved my life through his medical practices, and they killed him. They killed him, and then Nipsey Hussle, the rapper, cousins with Snoop Dogg, he came out on a podcast and said he officially announced, I'm working on a document or a documentary on Dr. Sebi.
Mm-hmm.
Died a week later.
No. Of natural causes or was
Suicide. He was shot. He was shot by somebody.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff where people just magically die.
Mhm.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That is so scary.
And even there was some guy, John something. He was a big man in the CIA. He was really big on trying to expose the CIA for all the corrupt things that they're doing. And he was put in prison in a Mexican jail. And once they transferred him to the US, suicide. And he tweeted before he got to his US jail cell, if they kill me, it wasn't suicide. If I die, I have 31 terabytes of government files in my apartment in this building. Get that if I die. Like, somebody get it if I die. They come out. This man's dead. He committed suicide in his cell. Not a lot, but that's rarely a thing. You know how many guards are walking past? Like, it's hard to commit suicide in prison. And then the building in Miami that we saw collapse was his building.
Was that building?
With that data in that
That
building.
just happened recently?
And buildings in Miami down on the coast, they're meant to withstand hurricanes.
Right.
They don't just boom, fall down like that. Like,
Oh.
so it's just like,
oh.
it just confuses me of why they would go through this much effort to keep things hidden away. Like, what are they?
Yeah.
hiding?
And do you know Edward Snowden? You know who that
I
is?
don't think so.
He was the one that worked for the FBI, the CIA, and he created a program that essentially allowed everybody to see everything that was going on for any kind of computer. You could access any camera on your phone without turning on the light, everything. He made that, but he didn't make that exactly. He made a program that, and he gave it to the CIA, and they made it even bigger. And so when he started working for the CIA, he was moving around. There's a really good movie on it.
Do you know how long ago this was?
In the 2000s.
2000?
2010. He's still alive, and he was on Joe Rogan's podcast, actually. But I watched a couple documentaries. I watched the movie. I've heard him talk. And so essentially when he was releasing the documents, he left the CIA from Hawaii, came back to mainland US. He was hiding in a hotel, and he was talking to some news company. I think it might have been just New York Times or something like that. And he was like, I'm recording with you guys. I'm giving you guys a story and the documents with it. Publish it while I'm running. And so it came out, huge story. He's wanted. And he actually basically got away with it.
Yeah.
But it was like I don't remember what the word is called when they're like whistleblower. He was labeled as a whistleblower. And as soon as all the documents came out, it was like huge, like, oh my God, the government's spying on us all the time. What the fuck? And all that. And basically nowadays you don't even know who that is. Edward Snowden was a huge name on the news on every single TV site in the 2000s, every single one of them. And it's super fun because now it's swept under the rug.
It's crazy that so there's a similar story, and this guy was on Joe Rogan's podcast too. His name's Bob Lazar, and he said that he worked at Area 51, and he had all these stories of aliens, UFOs. He said that the actual Area 51 is not where they keep their sensitive information. There's actually different bases around Area 51 called like S2, S4, where they keep certain things. And when he was talking about his experience, like day by day, like explaining his first day, they blindfolded him and didn't take the blindfold off until he was in his seat in his workroom. And like they gave him, they only gave him certain documents and only certain information. Like, so they didn't give him the whole picture about everything. And what he said was they had actually captured a UFO. And the way the UFOs work is anti-gravity. So you have a UFO, it takes the gravity in front of it, it can harness this gravity and take it away, which propels them just insane speeds to be able to harness gravity. And that's what we're working on right now for space travel. That's a key for space travel, especially with stars being light years away. Like, we can't use gas, we can't use, like, we need something else. And that's what that anti-gravity is. But he tried to leak his findings. He was like, the world needs to know about this. Like, this is in the 70s. And Bob Lazar is a very famous man. He built a car rocket when he was 16.
What the fuck?
Like a rocket ship car that he would drive down the road. Like, flames out the back, 100-mile an hour. Like
That's
Like
sweet.
water boy
dude is
on his
yeah,
lawnmower,
dude
bro?
is smart.
He
He's
just
super
flips his
smart,
switch on his
but
tractor. He just
he came out and started releasing documentation. They killed his family. If you try and find his educational records, gone. Doesn't say he attended the university. Doesn't say he even has his high school diploma. That's what they're able to do to just like keep this man contained.
suppressed.
They
Yeah.
can take
On their
everything
radar
away
right
from him.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. We're out here talking about this. I think
That's my
somebody's about to
fault.
knock on the door.
that's me. Look out for me. No.
I'm going with you, York. I'll go.
But
with you.
actually, like, I hate to do this, but I have soccer.
Yeah, she's got to go to soccer.
got to.
So you okay with wrapping this one
Okay.
up?
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely down to have this motherfucker back
Yeah.
on the podcast.
We have part two.
Dude, we can have a part two.
after
Like,
you have
I'm
a
so
few guests.
invested.
All right, bet.
Give it a few guests, and then I can come back.
Jacob York,
like a
part
month
one.
or two.
All right, bet. Dude, I'm so down. Well, thank you for coming on. This
Thank
is a
you
phenomenal
guys for
podcast.
having
Yes.
me.
Over an hour long. It's my longest one yet. So yeah. So guys, this is Jacob York. Well, I'll put his socials in the description. Follow our Patreon if you'd like. But yeah, we're basically signing out. This is my co-host Kendra,
Follow the KC podcast.
endorsed by Jacob York. But yeah, so Kendra,
Oh, I have a good title.
what's that?
Are we real?
Are we?
What do you think? Spicy?
Spooky.
Hey. You think it's good?
I think it's good. I like it.
Great.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, yeah. So this is my co-host,
Kendra Brewer.
my guest,
Jacob Bjork.
and my name is Casey Herring, and we'll see you guys later.